coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well. Welcome, everybody, finally, to the Detroit Cast. Mike, Jay, Shalom, Big E. Jay, how are you? It's been a long day.
I know. It's been a little disjointed, but it's my pleasure to be here for the second time.
Glad
today.
you're here. Yeah. What time did you get here this morning? Like 9 something?
Maybe.
10
Maybe.
something?
Had a little emergency.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one's on me, but I was shocked when you guys are like, well, fuck it, we'll just come back. You know, if you make it back today, we'll just come back.
Yeah.
He never left. He's just been here all day, kind of running the house by himself. And
yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. We already prepped the show. I mean,
Yeah.
the hard part's done.
Right.
Now we just have to fuck around for a
Just
couple
have some
hours.
fun,
For
gentlemen.
the record, Mike, just
Yeah.
I did not masturbate in your house. Well, so
I was here much of the day and can attest to that. He did not.
There was a
while I
period,
was here,
though.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless he had his hand going underneath the desk and I couldn't see it.
He definitely shit in the house because when I walked in, the bathroom is right there and the fan was on, and that's just
Dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway. That's E's move.
He usually shuts the door, so it's like a clam bake situation.
Exactly. Yep. He Dutch ovens himself in there. Anyway,
So where were you today, Mike?
Well, you know, I just wanted to get out and get some fresh air, so I decided to take a little stroll. No, actually, I had a rather scary night last night, and it rolled into this morning, and I didn't know what to do, so I ended up going to the emergency room, and you can't leave those once you get in there, and so what I thought was going to be a quick pop in.
Quick pop into the emergency
couple
room.
hours, in and out. No, 6-7 hours later.
And you probably went in at a decent time, and that there probably
Yeah.
wasn't that crowded, right?
Yeah. It's grim in there, man.
Sure.
I mean, granted, most people are there not for fun, but because something's wrong. But I'm just looking around just going, this is just grim.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I want it out
what's
of there.
wrong with this scene? No, dude, last night, out of nowhere, about 7:30, I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like laying on the couch. And you know when you're going to puke and you get that feeling of like saliva building up in your mouth? Like,
For sure, yeah. It's the worst, man.
it's, oh boy, that means something. And I just like gingerly walked over to the bathroom, was like, I think I'm going to throw up. I hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't drank anything. And sure as shit, I just start barfing into the toilet.
Bag up.
Yeah, it was a backup moment. And then it gets worse because as I'm puking, all of a sudden there's blood.
Oh.
Yeah. And not like a drop or two or like, is that pink? What is that? What is that color? It was like, no, that's blood. And it freaked me the fuck out. I've never seen anything like that. I've never had anything
You're
like
not
that
going to tell us
happen.
another miscarriage story, are you?
No. I had a mouth miscarriage last night.
Right.
No, and then I decided, like, oh boy, glad that's out of my system, and I decided to lay down on the couch, and I lay down, and like all of a sudden, like, this is gonna sound awful, my head starts to hurt, like below my temples, and I'm like, that's a lot of pressure on my head. That feels like a lot of pressure, and I feel, and it's like bumps, like giant bumps, and so I stand up. I didn't get like faint or anything like that, but I stand up and it immediately starts to go away. Like it was just like everything rushed to my head as soon as I laid down on my back, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so I just started Googling stuff like emergency room near me. Beth's out of town, you guys were gone, I'm alone here, and so I'm like, emergency room, and I called another buddy of mine, and I was like, dude, have you ever had anything like this happen? Have you ever, And he's like, nah, I can't say I have, but. And so anyway, he's like, well, I'll call you back. I'll look into it too. And I'm like, all right. And so I start driving, and it turns out the emergency room I was going to go to was sort of by his house. And as I get to like the crossroads of where this is, he calls again, and he's like, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to duck into this emergency room right now. You mind if I just stop by and chill for a few minutes? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And so I stop by my buddies, and I start to feel better. I start to feel a little better, and I'm like, he's like, look, man, if you feel anything at all, just call me. I'll take you to the hospital. Don't worry about it, no matter what time it is. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to call Beth and, see what she thinks. And so I'm driving home. I can't get a hold of Beth, and so I called you. And I'm just like, Hey, man, what's going on? Like I had you and
Hey,
Gab
Mike.
both on the phone. Like,
Yeah, we're laying in bed.
and I'm like, this is going to sound a little odd, and I don't mean to scare you, buddy, but here's what I'm dealing with. And you're just like, And so I think you got on the Google machine.
Oh yeah, and that's the greatest thing to do, right? With medical issue, Google machine.
Yeah.
It's like either
WebMD.
sniffles or you're dying.
Yeah,
Like,
you either have cancer or a limp,
Yeah.
walk it off, spit on it.
It could be either.
Yeah. And so this morning I felt okay, and I got through the night. I laid down. My test was this: I was going to lay down when I got home. Because I was driving home when I was on the phone with you. When I got home, I was going to lay down, and if anything started to happen again with my head, like blood going there or anything like that, I was done. I was going to the hospital. But it didn't. It didn't, and I felt fine when I was talking to you. It was like almost like it got out of my system. And so I was just like, all right, I'm just going to go to bed, and hopefully I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I gave you a directive that if I don't, I want to
To
be.
dispose of the body so the cat doesn't eat you.
Also, what else? Remember what else?
Closed casket.
No.
No one should see your bloated body.
Yes. Sort of. I wanted to be burned. I wanted to be whatever that is.
Yeah, cremated.
Cremated. Yeah. I don't want any photos or people to laugh at me for being fat and gross. So I was like, Jay, honestly, you promise me right now that nobody will have a viewing of mine at a funeral. And you're like, yes, I got it.
I got this.
Sounds like you're all over it.
Well, I would have remembered. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So anyway, I wake up this morning, I feel okay, and you guys are on your way over, and I'm just like, let me get something to eat. I get a little something to eat, and I'm just like, I'm just not feeling great.
Let me ask you this, dude.
Yeah.
We talked about the refrigerator issue
Yeah.
yesterday and the fact that we're now duct taping the refrigerator shut.
Yeah.
Do you think it was something like it was open for a while or has been open then closed so many times that maybe lunch meat and shit like that has gone bad?
I have had some lunch meat out of there, and there was definitely a question in my mind, like, here's what will happen. Like, I'll wake up in the morning and come downstairs, and the fridge will just be open, like it busted through the tape.
Right.
And it's like, did that happen 5 minutes after I went upstairs to go to bed, or did that happen 5 minutes
Can
ago?
you feel, is it still cold in there, sort of, kind of?
It's
arguable.
You wouldn't want to shower in that temperature, but you might want to swim in it.
Yeah,
It it certainly wasn't like you'd want to grab something to drink out of there.
Now I got you.
Without ice, anyways. So I did do that. Now I think they say if you have food poisoning, though, like you'll be sick as shit for 24
Yeah,
hours. Like
yeah.
it lasts longer than that. Because that was my first thought too. Was like, I wonder if it just seems so random. It wasn't like, oh, I was 12 beers deep in the night, and then all of a sudden, no, I hadn't had anything really to eat in hours, and I hadn't had anything to drink at all outside of like a water. So it just seems so random. So anyway, when you guys were here this morning and we were just about to do the show, I was just like, I don't know, man. I feel a little off, and I'm wondering, should I just go in? And you're like, just go, dude, just go. And so I did, and
Do you hate me for that?
No, I don't. It's I guess it's some sort of peace of mind. They almost kept me. I almost was there all night. They
Just
were
for
like,
observation.
yeah, and all I'm thinking is the ticker is just going with the
Yeah, the
cost
meter,
of this
the
thing.
meter.
The meter, yeah.
The meter.
And so I'm just freaking out, and they make me whiz into a cup, and I give them that, and then they drew a shitload of blood, and I don't know if you've seen those. Have you seen those ones where they like go into your vein, and then right. And then they tape that down.
Yeah.
And then they have a little thing that comes off there and another.
just keep filling,
And they
yeah.
can just keep filling or drawing. I've never seen that. They usually just hit a vein and pull out or put in whatever they want. But so I had this thing taped to my arm, and I'm sitting there, and so they've got all my blood going. They're doing all this blood work, and I decide after a few hours of sitting there, I haven't talked to anybody. They've literally got me in a hallway in a bed that my legs don't even really fit on. I'm so uncomfortable. It was
Picture this son of a bitch laying in a hallway.
by myself. I'm just like, yeah, boy, this
Hat on
stinks.
backward, just laying there.
And at this point, I'm starting to feel pretty damn good. I'm like, whatever I was nervous about or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, this just sucks,
am I
man.
doing?
What am I doing here? Can I just rip this thing out of my arm and get out of here?
Yeah, you actually texted me, like, could I just leave? Like, could I do that?
Well,
They can't keep me here, can they?
The doctor said, like, right before I texted you, I
Dude,
finally.
are you handcuffed to the side of this gurney?
Is there a cop there? He's got you handcuffed? No, but the doctor, I'd finally talked to one of the two doctors, and she was like, she's like, how do you feel? I said, you know what? Actually, I feel pretty damn good, to be honest with you. I said, I'm starving though.
So she agreed to take the straitjacket off at that point.
She did. And she goes, I said, in fact, I feel pretty darn good. I mean, when can we wrap this up and get me out of here? She goes, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, and at that point, I'm like, the fuck, I'm not. Who are you? What are you, my mom? What are you, grounding me? do you mean I'm not going anywhere?
Dr. Mom.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I want to keep an eye on you and run some more tests and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's what I texted you. Like, legally, do I have to am I bound to this hospital for any reason? And so at that point, I get so bored, Jay. I get so bored.
That you did some work?
No.
I tried to send you work.
Dude, my phone was so dead. I had to keep the last of my battery for whatever
Oh.
text I could say. Yo, dude, it was bad. I was there for 7 hours. And so I'm laying there, and finally I'm like, I'm just going to get up and stretch my legs a bit. And so I get up, and no one says anything. I've got my band on. At this point, I don't have
Now,
an
at
IV
this point,
in.
At this point, do you have the gown on with the slit in the front or the back?
They never gowned me. I was in the hallway. But I've got
So your
this
hog's
thing.
not showing.
My hog's not showing. My ass is not showing. But I've got this big contraption jammed
Yeah,
in my arm that's
sure.
still plugged into my arm. And so I'm just like, stretch my legs. And so I just start walking, and I'm walking by, some guy's on a gurney, and he's just fucking huge. And there's doctors like digging in his gut. I'm like, I didn't want to see that. Nope. And so I'm like, I'm going to go out to my car. My car's like right out there. I'm just going to go out there for a minute. Just
Charge
like,
my phone a little
Yeah,
bit, listen to some tunes.
Exactly. I've got all my stuff on me. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go out there, maybe call Beth really quick, and so I go out there, and like 2 minutes later, I'm like, all right, that's probably good enough, and I start going back
Drive to
in.
McDonald's.
Right. Yeah.
I start going in, and there's a like a nurse has come running out to the front, and I swear to God, I hear her say something along Walters, and I'm like, are you looking for me? And she like grabs my wrist and my wristband, and she goes, no, but what are you doing out here? I was like, I don't know. I just went to stretch my legs, popped out to my car. It's like, you cannot leave once you're checked in. You've got an IV thing in your arm. What are you doing? What?
You're supposed to be resting so they can test you again,
Well, I'm like, I didn't know. It's not like I'm here every week. I don't know what your rules are. She's like, under no circumstances in any hospital can you walk out of the place they put you and just go for a stroll outside. And she's walking, and she's like, come on. She goes, do you know where you came from? And I was like, well, somewhere down that hallway. And she's like, come on.
That nondescript looking hallway over there. I don't know.
And so at this point, I'm like, I'm really sorry. Honestly, I'm sorry. I didn't know. No one told me that. I don't, my legs aren't broken. I'm not in a wheelchair. I feel fine. I figured I could walk out there. She goes, you realize with that thing in your arm, you know what they're going to think, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you have that IV in your arm, and you left where you were supposed to be to pop out to your car. You know exactly what they're going to think, right? And I'm like, no, I don't. What are you saying? She goes, they're going to think you're an intravenous drug user and that you went out there to shoot heroin in your car. And she goes, they're going to call the cops, and the cops are going to be all over you. And I was like,
Then you're thinking, what's in my car? What's in my car? What's in my car?
like, do I have tracks on my arm? What are you talking about? And when I went back, I laid down like 2 minutes later. The nurse came around that was my nurse and was
You're
like,
like,
how you feeling? I'm like, pretty good, just chilling here, laying on my bed.
Been
doing
here the whole
okay."
time.
Yep.
Just like before.
But I didn't know. I would have never thought of something like that.
Yeah.
So I got away with that one. And then so the nurse comes back finally. I'll wrap this up. But she comes back and she's like, "Well, we've got your blood work back, and
It's
we've
anal
got your
fissures, isn't it?
we've got
Is
your
it angina? You've got angina. I knew he had angina.
I've got double angina and anal fissures, and some goop falling out of my
I was
panoos.
going with the HIV.
Yeah, dude, I swear to God, anytime blood work gets done, it's like, okay, what horrible sexual disease is this going to be? What, do I have the SIF? Do I have the GON? Do I have the HIV? What's going on here? And so she comes up, she's like, got to tell you. And I was like, oh, God, please don't be the HIV. Please, anything but the HIV. She's like, your blood work came back. It's excellent. Excellent. And I'm like, you're goddamn right
Did
it
you
is.
check my cholesterol?
She's like, your blood pressure, it's a little on the high side of normal, but everything looks great.
Did you say there's got to be some mistake here?
Yeah, did you switch mine with someone else? But apparently not. And so at that point, they were able to let me leave, and honestly, couldn't give me a real good answer. They were like, the food poisoning maybe, but probably not. It would probably last longer.
Yeah.
They said, did you drink a lot? And I was like, well, you need to be more specific than that. I mean, I have, yes. And she's like, did you drink it all? And I'm like, well, the day or the day before? No, not at all. Not a drop of anything. She's like, it could even be like from a few days ago, to be honest with you. Yeah. I was like, really? But it could also be some sort of fucking peptic ulcer or something, too. So I don't know. I'll probably need to go.
So bottom line, exercise and better diet, right?
Yeah.
That's what's been prescribed.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But I do feel a lot better, and I feel I feel better, not just like physically, but like mentally. It was really weighing on my mind. Like, dude, that's not normal. That's just not normal. And it was, I think that was more what was going on this morning. I was just like in my own head, like, dude, what, am I like dying right now? What's going on?
You have some peace of mind and a sweet bracelet now.
Yeah,
So
I know, right? I want to keep this one on.
I bet you wish you had health insurance.
I do.
Insurance, we all need it, and most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 29 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900. Get a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900.
I can't believe how loud people are at the hospital either. You know, when you're doing your like your first like sign in and they're asking you all those personal questions, and I'm always like, you know, I don't want to answer. I couldn't believe how many people like sat down really quick in that seat where I'm 30 feet from them, and there's a whole waiting room full of people, and it's like, oh yeah, well I was a heroin user for 10 years. Am I? She starts off like this. I swear to God, she goes, "Am I an addict?" Yes. It was mostly food though. For a long, long time, it was food,
Shit.
and then it eventually moved on to heroin and other thing. And I'm just like,
So you get up there and you're like, well, I wouldn't call it inverted. I'd call it more micro. But just kind of, can you keep that down?
keep that down a little bit. You don't want the whole world to know that.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, some people are just open. The other reason that I think it's really important we do a show today, Jay, is because I think E works really, really hard.
It's Big E History Day, man.
Yeah.
Today in history with Big E.
I'm not saying we have to do it right this minute, but we can.
Yeah, why not?
Right
Easus?
now,
Yeah.
damn it, I wasn't
You haven't
prepared.
done dick. That,
E, don't you want to get it out of the way?
That's good. That's a good point. It's almost like in school. Like once I can just climb the rope now and fail. Did you guys actually have to climb the rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Kick
problem.
I
ass
never
that
had to climb the
easy.
rope.
Couldn't do it now to save my life, but back then, like a monkey. You couldn't
this
climb the
day
rope.
in history with Big E.
Wow, just like that. This music isn't going to really fit this history moment, to be fair, but whatever. On this day, July 26, 1903, the first automobile trip across the United States happened.
Can you do this less gay?
No.
No? Okay.
Cannot. Sounds.
Wait, the first what?
First automobile trip across the country happened today. It was finished today. No one had driven across the country in a car yet.
How do you prove that? How do you know that? How do you know some guy didn't just
By
take
who?
his family?
Who did it?
I got my notes here. I'm sorry. I got my notes here. Dr. Horatio Nelson Jackson.
Ah,
Sounds-
sure.
It took him
Sounds legit.
63 days, 12 hours, and 30 minutes.
63 days.
Yeah,
Did he have an engine in this car?
yeah, but
Was it like a Fred Flintstone situation?
Yeah, it must have been.
well, no one had done it at the time, and we had only fewer than 150 paved miles of roads in the whole country at
Great
this
point.
point.
Wow.
So like a lot of it, he's just like going through like fucking just dirt and shit. In fact, I actually brought some pictures this
Is
time.
that
even.
right? Wow, you want
Here's-
to put them up on the screen?
Here's a picture of him
There's
Look at it.
there's Horatio
driving across.
the countryside.
Boy, in a convertible. 63 days in a convertible.
Was he?
Wait. Okay, never mind. That's
Was
a
this
shadow.
commissioned by anyone? Was this
It was-
sponsored by
it-
Ford or something?
No, well, actually, no, it was not. It happened on a bar bet. He was on
Ah,
vacation
yes.
with his wife in San Francisco, and at the time, cars were like still like a lot of people just saw them as like rich people things, and not really just like, oh, it'll be a passing fad.
Yeah, just a toy, not really usable for
Yeah.
great
Right,
distances.
and he said that he's like, I can drive across the country, and the bet was actually 90 days. It was that he couldn't do it in 90 days.
Isn't that surprising that that shit made it?
I know,
You know?
That
That
car-
same car made
yeah,
it
where,
across?
where would you get? I mean, I'm assuming that's.
Well, I'll tell you this. He actually
What does it take to run one of those cars?
He actually went with he did go with a like a mechanic with him, so it was a 2-man thing. And there was many a times that they were stopped.
They're just rigging it.
Yeah, like he had to, at one point he had to ride his bike to go get, like, 'cause there weren't gas stations for the most part.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was wondering. Like they ran on gas. They didn't just crank the engine, right? They like
no,
ran on
there-
gas.
no, and there
Well,
really
the
weren't.
crank was to get the engine going. That's not
Yeah.
it's not like a wind-up car.
Well, I didn't think so, but I was thinking there's not going to be a gas station once you get east of the California border, all the way to the far east side of the
Mississippi.
Midwest. You're not even going to find
No,
a
so
gas station.
they would stop, like there'd be convenience stores in town that would sell gas. So if they ever got someplace, they would have to like,
Load it up.
load the shit up. And actually, at one point, At one point, this lady steers them 108 miles off the trail.
Of course.
Just because
Of course
she wants
did.
her. No, just because she wanted her family to see what a car looked like.
Oh, you
Because
bitch.
people didn't know what
What a
cars looked like.
selfish
So
bitch.
she told them that. She's like, oh, yeah, go this way.
Oh,
And it was literally just to see.
it's like 3 days, 108 miles.
Yeah, dude. It took them. It was a decent situation for sure. Actually, Mike, you'll like this too. There was a Proops involved too.
Yep.
At one point in Idaho or some shit.
Idaho?
Idaho? Idaho?
No, you got it.
Maybe
He said it.
Yeah,
Idaho.
twice.
Idaho, sorry.
Idaho.
Anyway, at one point he picks up this dog.
Ah, fine state of Idaho.
Picks up Buddy at one point. And then
The great state of Idaho.
Don't move on to Buddy yet, E.
Idaho.
We're still dealing with Idaho.
Idaho. Sorry. My mistake, of course.
So he picked up the Proops, buddy.
Picks up this dog, and he hoped that it would be. He hoped that his goal that it was gonna be good luck because they'd have been having terrible luck, and that was not the case. But
just
he
got
did
worse,
wear
huh?
these
Goggles?
goggles, like.
That son of a bitch.
And that dog ended up being his dog whenever the dog died, I guess.
So why did it take 63 days? How fast did that car go?
It only could go 33 miles an hour.
And without paved roads and shit. And
Without
all
paved
the
roads.
breakdowns.
Yeah.
There was times when they had to literally, like at one point, there was some shit had happened, and they had to have like a cowboy come with a lasso and like pull their
Pull
car
them?
into a city and fix it.
Does that even count?
I was thinking the
He
same
became
thing.
a
I don't know.
wagon, basically.
Yeah, he sure did.
And the bet would have been like, by the way, I thought you guys would have asked this because I feel like I thought this would have been the first question you would have asked, dude. But it was a $50 bet that he couldn't do it, which would be about $2,000 today. But he spent $8,000 to make it happen. And I told Mike that the only reason he was able to do it is because his rich wife had inherited a fortune. So he was able to like finance just stupid adventures if he wanted to do it.
Excellent. I love it.
So he was out but if you think about that, he was off on vacation with his wife in San Francisco. Then in a bar, he makes this bet that he can drive across the country. And on her money, her inheritance, he ships her on a train back to New York or back to Vermont. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go on this cross-country trip.
Yeah, need some guy time.
Hell yeah.
So-
It's back when men were men and told their women what to do.
And no, it was not a Ford. It was the car. Where was it here? There was a period when Detroit was not the motor capital city of the world, believe it or not. Cleveland was a big big car city for a little bit. I know. I can't even believe it. It was a Winton 1903 touring car. which
Never
was
heard of it.
Yeah, I know. It was created by the Winton Motor Carriage Company, which actually sold the first car ever and had the first auto dealership ever in this country.
Look at this son of a bitch. Look at he taking this seriously.
Well done, E.
What was his name again?
The driver?
Yeah.
Horatio Nelson Jackson.
Huh, I learned something today.
I actually did too.
Good job, E.
E, what are you doing impressing people? You're not allowed to do that.
I want to say this. And since I have this out here, I do want to say this. The first person that ever bought a car, ever, an American-made car, was Robert Ellison Saw, and he bought it, or Robert Ellison, and he paid $1,000 for it in March of 1898.
Did you do a conversion rate of $1,000
I did
in
not.
1898?
I did not. Sorry.
Well, at $50,
Knock
it's
you down.
2,000 now. You could do it real quick in your head, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got this, E. Finish out strong. Conversion.
50 is...
While you do that, speaking of cars, hey, we've all heard that SUVs are the hottest selling vehicles on the planet. As luck would have it, our friends at Zott Ford and Holly happen to be Metro Detroit's SUV headquarters with massive inventories and wickedly low prices. For example, lease a class-leading 17 Ford Escape for just $122 a month, or lease
Hold
a
on.
family-fun
Hold on.
17 Ford Edge for
Gabar
only
wants to-
$155 a month.
Gabar wants to know how he's coming along with his math figure real quick.
40,000? I don't know. My thought was like 50. If 50 was 2,000, then 100 would be 4,000. And 4,000, if 100 is 4,000.
Here he goes.
4, 8,
Look at the gears working,
Four,
the hands, he's got the
12.
fingers going.
16, 20, 40,000. Ish.
Finally, lease the incredibly capable 17 Ford Explorer for $222 a month, only at Zott Ford and DealsInTheD.com.
I want that Explorer.
They're nice.
If you go buy a car in there, make sure you stop in and say hi to Steve, and maybe tell him to take you golfing. He'll take you to his club.
Be his pleasure.
Yeah.
This is it in the
Dude, I'd rather
Smithsonian
have an
right there, too,
Explorer.
by the way.
No shit. Look at E, man.
It's where? Where is that?
It's in the
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian right now.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to get in the Smithsonian? E?
Free.
Yeah.
Because the government.
And there's the dog and everything.
Wow, I don't know if I'd want that car. I wonder what it's worth, though. You know? Good job, E. Way to go, buddy.
Thank you.
Proud of you. Do you know what you're doing next?
No.
Doing another one next week, right?
Of course.
All right. I guess the big story of the day, Jay, was Trump lighting up the world, claiming transgenders are not going to be able to be in the military.
Yeah.
He sent a tweet out this morning announcing that.
No chicks with dicks.
Can you imagine?
Not in our military.
That's basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
If you're a chick with a dick, you're out. Sorry. Bigly, you're out. He said, after consulting with my generals and military experts, the U.S. government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve any capacity in the U.S. military. The U.S. military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail.
Don't you have to be, you can't be mentally ill to be in the military, can you?
I'm not sure.
So this might just be
6,000 of them are in now. Is that possible?
I was going to say, dude, what percentage of our military is transgender? Like, what does this apply to? You're telling me 6,000 people
That's
currently
the estimate.
in our military are transgender?
Yeah, that's the estimate. How many people are in the military?
Jesus? Stop tweeting or Snapchatting.
The policy was announced in July of 2016 from Obama, I guess, that they could serve or something. Wasn't that how that went?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it came under Obama.
Those troops were then allowed to serve openly, so they were just like closeted transgenders. And prior to that, the military discharged them for medical reasons.
I can't decide if this is right.
The projected active duty and strength in the armed forces for year 2016 is
2017.
Or 2017 is, does that say
1,281,900 people.
Jesus, what percentage of that is 6,000?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, dude. I don't know if I could come up with that one.
What percentage of that is? Oh.
Yeah, how many? What's the percentage that are transgender? We know 6,000 of those 1 million are.
I don't know. 6,000 of 1 million plus.
Get the calculator.
Under Trump and Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, the Pentagon delayed implementation of a key portion of the Obama administration's plan requiring the services to being accepting and recruiting new officers and enlisted troops. The Army, Air Force, and Marine Corps requested more time to implement the policy, saying they needed time to study the effects of accepting transgender troops. The Pentagon commissioned a report last year by the nonpartisan RAND Corp on transgender troops. Their research found that treating these troops would cost as much as $8 million a year and have a negligible effect on the military's readiness to fight. So
Maybe you said this right at the outset, but what was Trump's reasoning for this order? Did he say because? We don't want chicks with dicks because
of the we need to focus on overwhelming victory. We cannot be dealing with with medical costs and the burden
perverted weird shit.
Yes, we don't like weird shit in our military. We want to win bigly. Now, look, I know this. We're going to sound like we just are. We're going to sound like old men. We're going to sound like stone-aged assholes because I have a feeling I know what your position is going to be, and it's probably what my position is going to be, and it's that this train is going so fucking fast down the tracks that none of us have a split second to go, wait a minute. And this progressive push that we're seeing, like, dude, I don't want my Marines and Air Force and any of my military guys having to go to fucking sensitivity training. These are trained killers. These are
I don't want
killers.
sensitive.
These motherfuckers
Don't
kill.
ruin them.
They kill for fun. They kill for love of country. That's what they do. Sensitivity training. They don't know what that is.
We don't want anything like delaying their ability to kill.
No, not at all.
We want the gun up him.
Yeah.
Him.
We shoot first and ask questions later. We just kill
We don't
shit.
want.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Boy, that is really
I
a cute
wonder.
outfit, Jennifer. Seriously. Why? Thank you very much. I just got it. No. And I don't want those guys like, dude, have you ever met a Marine that's not just like just has that look in his eye like, yeah, don't push him the wrong way. He might just kill you.
No.
Like they all have that look.
No, I want them to have that look.
I love that they have that look. Every one of them. And so the thought of those guys sitting in a classroom somewhere taking a sensitivity training, class is just awful. I don't know why.
I don't think they'd be affected by it. I just think it'd be a big waste of time and money.
Yeah, but the lawsuits are going to come because you're going to say people are. Then you get into the squabbles of, I'm being mistreated because I'm transgender. I'm being this because I'm.
Yeah. You are.
You're in a ring with fucking animals. These are animals. These are trained, savage animals with
And you're
one
mentally
mission.
ill.
And then you come sauntering in like, "Hello, gentlemen." It's like, no, you're.
So Trump's doing this for their own good.
Yeah, I guess.
It's for their own good.
Big
Chicks
league.
with dicks, stay out.
Yes, they don't need it. They're worried about killing motherfuckers all day long, and that's what we need them to focus on. Absolute and total destruction when called upon. Period. Keep your dicks out of their locker room. They don't need it. So people are losing their shit over this. I don't know what you do with those 6,000, if that's true. And a lot of people I know are going to point to, who was the, I won't remember her or his name. Who was that one that was like a Navy SEAL, like a badass Navy SEAL, and got out of the military and then came out as transgender.
I just keep thinking Brad Manning.
Yeah, but Brad Manning's a little weaselly.
Yeah. I can't think of any Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL transgender.
The
just
only
Google it.
military guy I can think of is Brad Manning.
This dude was like a Chris Kyle, though. Just a beast. There was a huge. I thought we watched that, like a 2020 on him.
I
or
don't
something.
recall that.
Yeah, maybe you'll remember the name, but he was a bad. He's still out there in his dress now, just like, ha! You wouldn't want to make fun of him. I'll tell you that. But people are like, well, what about him? He's a great Navy SEAL. He wouldn't be there if this new rule applied. And everyone's like, yeah, well, he wasn't transgender then. He
Kristen Beck,
Kristen Beck, yeah,
or like that's a female name, I guess.
that's true. Go ahead. You got a little video there.
Appear to be.
I do.
Oh,
E.
Jesus.
Look
He
at
did
E.
so well
Yes.
with history.
Is this the video?
I just wanted to show Jay a picture or a video of her.
Can I please see him? Rings a bell.
Yeah,
I definitely haven't watched a special on him.
yeah, you would remember.
It would be an understatement to say that life. is
Look
far
at that
different
sweet
since
little
Chris
thing.
began living full time as
Hi there.
Kristen.
All of the stuff that women go through every day.
That's what you
You
go
wake
through,
up,
right?
Do all
Totally.
your makeup and try to look pretty and presentable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more work
What
to
with
do
all the
than
cat
ever
calls that are coming later in the afternoon.
day.
So saunter down the street.
I got
At
a
6'8",
lot of dresses and
240
skirts and
pounds.
Yeah.
things in the
Broad-
last
broad
few months, or
shoulders.
last 6 months. When I first started shopping, I would go
Yes.
to Victoria's Secret to make believe I was
Guys are
buying
pinching me on the
things
butt all the time in the bar.
And, now, because I'm a
All right, I don't want to get our YouTube pulled because of this crap.
Yeah. What's your thought on this?
I'm shocked that there's 6,000 transgender folks already in our military.
Yeah, I am too.
I would hope that we could provide them proper psychological treatment.
Boy, that
I know,
pisses them off when
monstrous.
you say that.
I
I
know.
know they just don't like that. I think there's I know like the whole LGBTQ community wants to band together, and any fight against any group is a fight against all of them. But I do think there is a difference between like gay and transgender. Am I wrong?
The
Am I
gays.
crazy about that?
No,
Like,
that's how I feel.
Like I just feel like there's a stark difference between someone born one way and then wants to remove body parts.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
It's-
certainly extreme.
I mean, like, there's no doubt, and I've used this example before, but if I said and really honestly believed that I was a wounded war veteran and I got my legs blown off and I need to have my legs removed, like, nobody's going to do that surgery, no matter how much I believe that. They're just going to go, dude, you're mental. I'm
Send you to
sorry.
a psych ward.
Yeah.
Who
They
would
are.
do that? Who would cut off their
Their
legs?
own legs because they think they're supposed to be legless as a wounded vet.
I always go with my friends. The biggest thing I can't get over is just the fucking bathroom and like the dress room. You know, dude, you want to walk around and just tell your friends that, hey, I'm a girl from now on or whatever. Fine. But can you just go to the bathroom in the men's room? You have a penis. Can you just, you know,
We'll
whatever.
even let you sit down to pee.
Right. You want to wear a dress. You want to. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I
It's
think
just it's a battleground that upsets the status quo and gets
Yeah.
into the media and gets it pushed.
You're
around.
right, they want-
That's why the bathroom.
You're
thing
right.
happened.
I know. You're
'Cause It would be
right.
so upsetting to the general population, and it would be
Mm-hmm.
in your face.
Yeah. Well, remember that video we watched of that kid in high school that was fighting to use the bathroom?
And he had the big dick hanging out his miniskirt.
He had that. It was
Oh
a
my
cute
God, I wish I
miniskirt.
would
You got to give him that.
Well,
It was
he's
a
wearing
cute
like
miniskirt.
leggings, right, under a miniskirt, but you could see the outline of his hog
No.
going down his leg, couldn't
No,
you?
he had a miniskirt on, and he was walking, and you could see his dick bouncing off his miniskirt.
Jesus,
it was
you
like
got
he was.
this?
I don't remember.
Totally
The
remember
problem is I
that.
have no
I just remember
recollection
being
of-
troubled by the absolute presence of a hog.
I can't
Yeah.
remember
Looked
who
odd.
it was at all.
I won't remember either, but it doesn't matter. We all remember that video, though. We're talking about the same one.
Yeah, I think that guy was just joking on everybody. He was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm a girl now," and it was so
Yeah.
obvious he was, to me at
Yeah.
least, that he was just kind of throwing it in their face because I can do this, so I
Sure,
am.
sure. When I was looking at something earlier about some transgender wrestler, I think, where this guy is now wrestling is just dominating women wrestling. It's like this just is hilarious.
There was the weightlifter. I remember that, the New Zealand
Yep.
weightlifter who was just killing it in the female division.
Yeah,
You know, middle of the road male,
Yeah.
but you get in the female division, he's killing it.
it's the one way it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's the one way it doesn't work. Like you can go female to male and she can get her ass kicked forever, whatever. No one's gonna care.
Isn't that
but
cute?
yeah, adorable. She thinks she's a guy, and look at her compete. You know, coming in dead last every race, hilarious. But when you know the kid that played lacrosse, we've talked about that. You know, it's like, nah, it's a rule. You don't have a lacrosse at my high school, so I get to play field hockey with the ladies and just owned them all. Nobody wanted to play them because he crushed them. That might have been my favorite story from a few years ago. Did you find anything? E?
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I think this is it, dude. Yes, this is definitely it.
Let's see, what's he wearing?
I think you can see a dick bouncing. I'm almost positive.
This is definitely it. Shit. I hope they
Oh yeah, that's him.
I don't know if there's an ad before. Shit. 'Cause
Yeah,
this is-
definitely no leggings. He's just got a mini skirt, so.
Shit. Just give me a second because I'm not.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
while you do
this
that,
one.
everybody, please use our affiliate links. At DetroitCast.com, you will see links to Amazon and Groupon. Many of you shop on these sites, and we are happy to have partnered with both through their affiliate programs. To find great deals through both Amazon and Groupon, please enter both those sites through the links that we've provided. Again, you can find those portals to Amazon and Groupon on our homepage at DetroitCast.com. And hey, it's back to school time.
Already?
It is, dude. I saw shit
Wow.
in the
Yeah.
the stores already, all the markers,
all the
notebooks
posters
and backpacks and shit. Do your back to school shopping over Amazon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course. There he is.
Go ahead, E.
This is Lila Perry.
And history repeats itself.
Monday morning, close to 200 students used their right of free speech to express.
Oh, yeah,
their
they were worried about the right of free
support
speech,
of
so
Lila Perry,
not getting out of
a
class.
transgender
There it is.
student
Yes, there's the hog. Look at that thing. He's almost
in a
erect.
girls'
Yeah.
bathroom,
That
even
is
though she
hilarious.
still
Dude, that-
failed physically
With his
How
purse.
did I mention this, dude?
gym class.
It's really uncomfortable.
Clear outline of a dick.
Dude, you can see a helmet.
Yeah.
There's a helmet in there.
To have his voice heard on a Hillsborough street corner.
I feel that these girls have a right to
Oh, this story is.
Hilarious. I need to see this again. I need to see this again.
Yeah, you want to check out his dick one more time?
A transgender
So obvious. Look at that.
changing for PE class in the girls' bathroom, even though she is
Oh,
still
boy.
male physically.
So funny. So yeah, Trump pissed off half the world today with that announcement or tweet, and then people were all over him too. I love this the comparisons to Hitler that keep popping up with Trump. I
Yeah.
guess they were comparing him to the Scouts, Boy Scouts event that he was at, to some of those Hitler Youth rallies back
Yeah.
in the day where you had all the kids wearing their uniforms, and you know you got the Heil Hitler, and of course Trump. Whenever Trump walks on stage, he's pointing at people. Hey, you! I see you. Thanks for coming.
So it's an easy meme.
So it's an easy meme to make it look like he's almost doing the Heil Hitler when he's doing his point at people
Yeah.
thing. And so they show, you know, the Boy Scouts in their uniforms and then the Hitler kids in theirs. And here we go again. Who couldn't see that coming?
Look at this douchebag.
I wonder if she's still transgender, E. I wonder what her story is.
I know, look at that guy. It's just a bad wig. I honestly just think that was a joke. I
I
think
was
that
going to
guy
the-
was
I don't know,
sign.
dude.
I'm talking about the guy in the back with the sign.
girls' rights matter. It looks like one of your signs.
Yeah, it
It looks
does.
like he spelled it wrong. Something happened with the T in rights. Looked
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's what he forgot the
he
T. It
had
was
an S there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turned the S into a T and then put an apostrophe S.
Girls Rise Matter, it
Yeah.
said originally.
Yeah, exactly at a S apostrophe first.
You're right, dude.
It's not a bad fix job. He could have worked on the lower half of that T and even that out a little bit.
You had the 2 T's in matter, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Did all right.
Just flip it over and use the other side of the board, man.
He already did.
Probably did. The story that keeps on giving to me is Lucky Whitehead.
Well, because it obviously dovetails into one Bugatti Casino.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm only interested in Bugatti Casino stories.
Yeah, tell us about Lucky so we can get to Bugatti.
Is there more of Bugatti today?
Oh, there's a whole Instagram.
By the way, it does say on here, you book a show. We should book Bugatti Casino for a show.
Dude, I've
Forgive
seriously
us,
been thinking about, let's try to hook up with Bugatti and talk to him. But then I'm like, this dude's not fucking around.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, could we get ourselves in trouble trying to
Put
play
a
around?
cap in our ass.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the receiving end of one of those Instagram videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it could be for show. I mean, he's a rapper. I mean, Jay-Z's not going to put a cap in your ass, but he sings about it, right? Anyway, this story is kind of funny, but kind of sad, too.
It is sad, dude.
The
talked
Cowboys,
about this yesterday. He had been charged with, shoplifting.
Petite larceny.
And the dude was like, wasn't me, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. I wasn't even in, what state was it? Minnesota.
Virginia?
Wherever it was.
Yeah, Virginia.
I wasn't even there, man. I was flying to Dallas. I got my ticket to show.
Yeah.
And Dallas is like, yeah, dude, third string receiver. You know what? We're going to cut you.
He was apparently stealing $40 worth of goods from a Wawa convenience store in Virginia. He explained this is completely false. And how many guys have done that? Yo, Your Honor, it ain't me. I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it. And you're like, yeah, whatever, dude. A few hours later, he was cut. Statement released by the authorities now explaining that Whitehead was, matter of fact, he was not the suspect. Oops.
Another person named Lucky Whitehead, or just a perp that appeared to be?
No, apparently they arrested a guy with no ID, and he gave the Cowboys player's name.
What a dick!
Yeah. The Cowboys are standing by their decision, though. They're unapologetically standing by this decision to.
They didn't want the dude anyway.
Yeah, I guess. Jason Garrett, the head coach of the Cowboys, addressed the situation, choosing to deal with the media by repeating the same answer approximately 8 times. Yesterday, we made a decision that we thought was in the best interest of the team. We stand by that decision. Yeah, well, what do you have to say to Lucky? Yesterday, we made a decision as to was best for the team. One of those dumb shit things. One reporter asked him if the team felt that Whitehead was owed an apology. We've made a decision and moved on. Okay. The display was a far cry from the one when he addressed the media last week when Garrett defended Ezekiel Elliott in the wake of a video and eyewitness accounts claiming that he knocked out a man at a Dallas bar.
Yeah.
So why would you let Ezekiel Elliott knock out a guy at a bar, but then just
because in reality it was probably way more with Lucky Whitehead. Like, he just sucks. We're just moving on. We're moving on. He's a third, fourth string guy, whatever. $500,000 a year player. There's dime a dozen these guys.
Honestly,
undersized. He's probably 5'9", 180 pounds, something like that.
Kes McCorvey type.
Great example. You're wearing a Florida State shirt. It's only fitting.
It's only fitting. I don't know how many people even remember the name Kes McCorvey. Yeah, that dude was funny as shit, though.
He was. Little guy, though, about 5'9", 180.
Yeah, little Lucky Whitehead type guy. No, the truth is you could go up to Lucky Whitehead and as the coach and go, look, here's the deal, son. Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, they could murder someone in the streets if they wanted, and we would do everything we could to make sure they're on the field come Sunday. You get even accused, whether it's falsely or not, of petty larceny in some other state, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. The rules are not the same for these guys.
I wonder if the players' union is going to go to bat for him, though, and try to make a stink,
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
The rush to judgment.
You've dealt with a lot of, lawsuits involving workplace stuff.
Yeah, but a lot depends on his contract and the rules, the players' union rules and all that stuff. And I don't pretend to know that in the NFL.
But just looking at it broadly from afar, because that's all we can do. We don't know what his contract says. Apparently he makes $500,000 a year. I'm sure there's more details in that than just like you make $500,000 a year, sign here. But
I'm sure
if you can prove dude, I was cut from this team before practice even started for the new season because this incident happened, got in the papers, and they overreacted and fired me. They essentially fired me, and now it turns out that they had the wrong guy, like I said originally. How is that not? Why
But I
wouldn't
thought
you
the
have
NFL,
grounds for a
but I
suit?
thought literally in the NFL you could cut at any
There you
time
go.
for any reason.
Exactly. Given the nature of cuts in the NFL, you can't tell me that they have like good cause clauses that require you to have some sort of.
You could never
cause.
prove it. It's all
Yeah,
subjective, right?
You could just simply say that you're not good enough, man.
I don't like his name.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the rule? Because you've always said that to me. Like, dude, you're an at-will employee.
It depends if you're at will or under contract. If you have a contract, there's terms that need to be abided by. If you're at will, that just means, dude, you can leave any time. The employee can leave the employment at any time, with or without cause, and the employer can separate you at any time with or without cause. Now, when you're talking contracts, I don't know what that contract said, but as E aptly pointed out, in the NFL, you can make cuts willy-nilly. You have to make cuts. You got to get down to certain roster points and all that. So I can't imagine that it's a very stringent hurdle you have to get over in order to make a justifiable cut under the guy's contract.
Yeah.
But it has to be troubling to owner-player union relationship when you're overtly making a cut based on a rush to judgment that proves to be false.
My guess is, usually when an incident happens with these players, and they deny it and do the thing, usually the team will stand by them to a point and say, we want to see where this goes.
So let justice take its course.
Yeah. Unless it's it's on video of you slapping a woman or something, then nowadays they'll make a stand.
Did their statement indicate that it was because of this charge?
Well, I think they said something like, we've seen enough of blah, 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 or something. They didn't really say a lot, but it was the day after, and it made it sound like it was, with other things. I think he was late to a meeting at one point, and maybe he did something a year ago or something. Or
in reality, we all know this was the last straw. This is the straw that broke the dromedary's back. Yeah. You're out.
With the whole, Bugatti casino incident, and, we're in the papers for this, and this asshole's blasting you on all over the web and stuff. Like, we don't need that shit. We don't need that kind of attention from this guy.
We went through that in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, with the White House.
Right.
So we don't need it. So keep your nose clean, Whitehead. And then not a week later, this pops up and they're like, fuck it, you're gone, dude. We told you. We told you. But for them, I would think they would wait 2 days. If he's going, dude, coach, I had nothing to do with it, man.
Totally, I know.
Why wouldn't it leads me to believe there was more, though, back behind that story. That they were just like, no, dude, we were so on the edge. I don't even give a shit what your story is now. I wouldn't. I still think.
Although it is funny because it's not like his story was, it's not like he was in the store and it's like, dude, it was just they thought I was the person. Dude, he wasn't even there, man.
He probably lacked credibility in their eyes. It was probably like, you know what, fuck you, dude. Yeah, you weren't there, right? Goodbye.
Yeah, but I brought my plane ticket, coach. I was here at practice with you. Come on, man.
I don't believe it. He was in the practice. I don't believe it.
Anyway, so Whitehead expressed his anger and frustration about the incident in an interview on Tuesday. There's not much I can do at this point. Like I said, I told them it wasn't true, and no one had my back. Whatever point they were trying to make, I guess they thought they made it. But like I said, I didn't do this stuff I was accused of. I wasn't perfect. I've been late to a meeting, but as far as legally getting into trouble, no. It gave them an opportunity, and they took it. I just want to get back to playing football. I don't know if I'm kind of pissed at the police department too, for like publicly identifying a guy when
if it's a celebrity, don't you think you should look way
seriously just based on some dude? Yeah, I mean, no ID. My name's Lucky Whitehead.
Yeah,
probably just heard the story about the dog in the paper that day.
I think he knew like his birthday though, and maybe something else about him, and they were able to look it up in the system and go, oh, here's Lucky Whitehead, and he's got the right birthday.
But still,
I know. So they released a statement upon reviewing the June 22nd arrest of an individual named Rodney Darnell Whitehead Jr. The police department is confident that the man charged with petty larceny and who is subsequently being sought is not Lucky Whitehead of the Dallas Cowboys. The man charged was not in possession of ID. However, he did verbally provide ID to officers, which included a name, date of birth, and social security number matching that of Lucky Whitehead.
Holy shit.
So they're thinking like stolen identity at this point. Officers acted in good faith that at the time the man in custody was the same man matching the information provided. Since the ID information provided by the arrestee during the investigation was apparently false, the department is working with the attorney's office to clear Mr. Whitehead from this investigation. The police department regrets the impact these events had on Mr. Whitehead and his family.
Oh, do they?
Sorry about that.
Unlucky Whitehead. Yeah, it's just one of
acted
those
in
things.
good faith. Like,
Dude,
I don't.
they kind of did though, right? I mean, they're getting a SOCH number, a birth date, a name.
I
that
still think you're getting somebody for robbing a convenience
Well,
store.
here's the thing, right? They write up the report, and then it's the press that digs through
Yeah.
reports. It's not like they held a press conference, right?
I guess.
The press is constantly listening in on calls through
Yeah,
scanners, and
true.
they're constantly blowing through court records and police reports.
And you could argue that if not for Bugatti Casino, they wouldn't care about some third-string wide receiver. If that story doesn't get blown up.
Speaking of whom, we haven't heard from Mr. Casino in a while, E.
Shit. I have no idea what you guys. This is whatever you guys found while I was away.
Well, we found myriad videos.
I should say this. I don't know if we should watch both because his video in here is reacting to his name being brought up on Sports Center. So we could just watch his reaction, or we could watch
just the reaction.
Okay.
So wait.
Something's happening that they're talking about him.
Why can't we watch both?
Sure. No, go ahead. I haven't watched both. But.
Okay. How long is it? So
I
he's
have
got
no
it paused on his TV. And they mentioned
he says, yeah, they're talking about me and shit.
Week ago, it was some weird story about
Bugatti Casino, the rapper. Bugatti Casino. Yeah, Bugatti Casino is being held. Anytime you can combine a demo car and a place where people throw away money.
That's what I was like.
This is somewhat concerning, though. It's
That's probably because it stops anyway. So that's
okay.
And then here's him.
This is his reaction.
Shit.
Hey, I need everybody to tag Undisputed. You know, the Skipper and Shannon show, and goddamn tag ESPN, man, so I can get in contact with these people and let them know my side of the story, man, and really why Lucky Whitehead got cut from the Cowboys, man. So I need everybody right now to goddamn tag goddamn the Undisputed show with goddamn me Skipper and Shannon and tag ESPN right now. Let's go. Wow. Hey, I need
Okay, so what did you take from Mr. Bugatti here, or Mr. Casino?
For one, he seems to know why he got cut from the Dallas Cowboys for real. Did you hear that?
You know why?
Because he ain't fucked that white bitch good enough.
That's what it all comes
And he
down
wants
to.
to go
Jerry
on-
Jones was absolutely furious that apparently Lucky Whitehead
Ain't fucked that white bitch good enough.
I'm just flat out. I'm not sure I'm following Mr.
I'm not
Casino
kidding.
in this frame.
His name was brought up on
with
this
E.
First Take or whatever this
Yeah.
version is. And
Sports Nation.
he wants to go on there and clear his name and give the information on why Whitehead really got fired.
Play it again and let's see how accurate he is. Was in his interpretation.
I think he stretched it. I liked where he was going at first. I don't know that he's
Hey, I need everybody to tag Undisputed. You know, the Skipper and Shannon show, and goddamn tag ESPN, man, so I can get in contact with these people and let them know my side of the story, man, and really why Lucky Whitehead got cut from the Cowboys, man. So I need everybody right now to goddamn tag goddamn the Undisputed show with goddamn me Skipper and Shannon and tag ESPN right now. Let's go.
So he wants to be put in contact with them because he has information that we don't know yet. Mr. Casino has information that's not gone public yet.
Hold on. I think there's been a misunderstanding here. I don't think the reaction to that is in reference to the video we watched before it.
Okay.
Because the video before it is Sports Nation, I believe. The show he's talking about with Skip and Shannon is Undisputed, which is a different show, which means Skip and Shannon could have been talking about Lucky Whitehead and Bugatti Casino in a totally different context. Because they were just like, oh, what a great name. Mix a high-priced car and where you throw your money away.
Be that as it may, sir, it sounds to me like Mr. Casino is holding information that has not been disclosed publicly
Well,
concerning
that's undisputed for sure.
The cutting of Mr. Lucky Whitehead.
Absolutely.
So he knows why he's been cut from the Cowboys.
He's contending so, E.
That's if you take that man at his word.
Why wouldn't we?
I mean, I have no reason to doubt his credibility. None.
Oh, yeah?
Zero.
In the end, we heard from Lucky Whitehead, and the story was, they stole my dog, and they're holding him ransom.
Yeah.
Until one fine, upstanding young man went, excuse me, sir, that's not exactly how this
Set
happened.
the record straight, didn't he?
Yeah, and he took a loss, if you remember. He was willing to take a loss on that.
For that dog.
Yeah. Do you have that audio really quickly?
Shit,
just
that
one
one, I was
time we
gonna
could
show
hear
you.
it? Yeah,
Sorry,
just
sorry.
to refresh everybody's memory in case you missed it yesterday.
But my interest is peaked, man.
Mine is too.
He's got some information on the real reason.
Okay. You want the gas station one or
Fuck yes, I want the gas station
Well, yeah.
one.
Say, man, nigga ain't took no dog, bro. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? His ex-bitch brought a nigga the dog. Hey,
This
you
is the
talking
guy
about,
to watch
nigga?
back
ain't
here.
stole no motherfucking dog.
In the
nigga.
orange,
Stop playing
yeah.
with me, nigga. Fuck you talking about? He know what's going on. Tell him to ask that bitch, nigga. This what I'm saying, nigga. If I pay my motherfucking money for the dog, I don't
Here it
want
comes.
this dog, nigga. I figured out who dog it was, nigga. I'm telling you to get my motherfucking money back for the dog, nigga. I don't want that motherfucking dog, nigga. I ain't stole no goddamn dog. How stupid y'all think that? Y'all think I'ma steal a motherfucking dog and post it? Nigga, stop playing, nigga. I never one time said I stole no dog. Fuck you talking about, nigga. I ain't stole no motherfucking dog.
He can't fuck that white bitch good enough.
Yeah, well reasoned, sir. Well reasoned.
Don't brought us that dog, nigga.
Fuck you talking about. You know goddamn well that white hoe brought you that dog, nigga.
Yeah, you know goddamn well. I mean, that's what happened. He's my favorite. Did you guys watch any more of his Instagrams? Does he have more?
No, well, he does, but we thought we'd unleash them kind of
Periodically?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
We don't want to blow our wad.
Yeah, we don't. Our Bugatti wad.
You're right. It is better to spread it out probably a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, you see Jordan Lewis was found innocent today.
He was found innocent, was he? Why are you speaking of the Dallas Cowboys? Isn't he an Indianapolis Colt?
Jordan Lewis?
Former U of M Wolverine. Now
Yeah.
Colt, I thought. No?
No, he's with the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboy rookie cornerback,
Oh,
Jordan
all
Lewis,
right.
found not
My
guilty
mistake.
of domestic assault on Tuesday. Sounds like a pillow fight gone awry.
Dude, I
Ari.
don't think that these acquittals get enough press. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that shit gets strewn about all over the pages, all over the internet. Oh my God, Jordan Lewis beat up this chick.
Yeah.
And then this sort of like, so I'm glad you brought this up because this shit usually just floats by.
Yeah, and I don't know who you blame for that because, you know, the story's out there. It's not, this story's not hidden.
Right.
But if the talking heads don't pick it up and make a big deal about it, then, you know, it just kind of like, all right, we put it out there for you.
No, because the fact is everybody assumes he did it. When you
Yeah.
hear a story like that, it's like, oh, football player, aggressive dude like that. Of course he beat up his girlfriend,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And here you go, acquitted.
Nicole Miller is
Found
his former
not guilty.
girlfriend. Yes, he was found not guilty today. This is
Innocent, if you
apparently
will.
at their Ann Arbor apartment. And this is, did you read about this fight at all? Have you read the details
No.
of it? It's comical. Apparently Jordan Lewis was like taking a nap or went laid down, and then she came in. He'd left the bedroom light on, and as he's laying down, and she came in like, "You motherfucker, wasting money, motherfucker," and like woke him up from a dead sleep because he left the light
Telling
on.
the guy who's about to sign a multi-million-dollar contract
Yes.
with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he wakes up in a stupor and like grabs the pillow from under his head and is just like whap and knocks the shit out of her with his pillow, you know, and like hits her, and she like she claims she fell back and into the wall and then came at him, and apparently he took 3 swats and just like boom, boom. It's like, pick up your pillow. What are you doing, woman?
I could see one like, whoa, what? You know,
Yeah.
kind of that reaction. We've all had that where you
Yeah.
wake up. Was it patented Phil? Do we know?
I don't know if it was patented Phil. I don't know.
Did they need testimony from an expert?
Lindell on the stand.
Yes, our next witness, Your Honor. I would like to call Mike Lindell.
He's holding his pillow on his head.
Well, I looked at this case a lot, and while Nicole Miller brings up a fair point, I gotta say, there's no way Jordan Lewis was gonna hurt anybody with my patented Phil. Not gonna happen. It's so soft.
It's not a weapon.
It's not a weapon. No way.
It just sounds too exaggerated to the common person out there.
She says that Lewis had struck her face so hard that she was forced into the wall. 2 police officers said they didn't see any injuries on her. She refused medical attention. A jury of 4 women and 2 men found Lewis not guilty. So yeah, she says he hit her 3 times with a pillow, dragged her across the floor, and grabbed her by the neck before leaving her apartment. He says, yeah, she woke me up. He pulled the pillow out from under his head and he hit her with it. Lewis is adamant. I never struck Ms. Miller with my hands. I didn't hit her. I just hit her with a pillow. My whole goal was to get out of the house. He apparently called her a derogatory name. I believe that was bitch. He told me I was like all the other bitches who don't care about, you know, football players' careers. Jordan Lewis is a quiet guy, and from everything, I mean, if you can believe his teammates and coaches, like just a good dude all the way with good head on his shoulders, going places. You know, isn't one of those guys to fuck around. And so, you know, if he was one of those like out there partying like crazy, I'd be more, who knows? Maybe he got a little out of hand. But I don't know. Remember, you probably don't, but you might. Remember how much Harbaugh went after the media last year when they were like, "Oh, I wonder what Jordan Lewis did. He's not playing in the first half of this game. He's not able to start." Well, he
I
must
do
have done
remember
something.
that, yeah.
And Harbaugh was like, "You motherfuckers!" He was like, "This is the best kid you'll ever meet. How dare you?"
The very same Jim Harbaugh who showed up to the Big Ten meetings wearing sweats and a hat in the picture with all the other coaches wearing suits, looking dapper.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what's up with his Woody Hayes glasses?
I don't know.
You know,
I think that's just I think he's trying to be hip for
he's
sure.
taking on like this coach persona, like
Yeah.
you know, put a whistle around my neck and give me a clipboard. It's kind of weird.
The cleats.
Yeah,
cleats he wears. You know why he does that?
Just in case he gets called into action
by himself.
No, I think he
called
got
himself.
hit on the sideline. Maybe it was either during a 49er game or a Stanford game, and he wasn't able to get out of the way fast enough because his tenny slipped, and so he got rolled up on. And he's like, "Never again, never again!" And now he wears those dainty little cleats for
I
every
can
game.
see that.
That does look hilarious if you see that Big Ten picture. Like every one of the coaches.
He gets mad for me calling him out like that.
No,
like,
that's not true.
You
I
did
get mad
yesterday when we talked about it, and now you are too. You don't think that's weird? I'm just saying it's weird.
I agree
not
with
saying
you.
he's not a great coach or Michigan's not going places.
I think I agree with you at times, but I think you have a biased opinion, I would think.
You don't think that's odd that he's the only coach in the Big Ten standing there
You know
in,
what I think?
in
I
a
don't give a
sweatshirt?
shit. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think it just happened, and who cares? Like that's what I think. It's not that I don't think it's odd. I just don't care. I just don't give a shit.
I don't think it's a big deal or anything. I'm just saying that's fucking weird by this guy, and it's on the trail of a lot of just strange mannerisms.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a weird guy. I mean, he just is.
I
He's
more
a
think the
dork and
motherfucker
weird
better
and-
win some of these rivalry games, or who gives a shit about these weird things? You can do all these weird
The
shit.
motherfucker.
you can be a weirdo all you want if you want to beat
Yeah.
Ohio State and Michigan State, but if you're not going to, then who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, it's a suit thing. Like I hate suits, and I know you don't. You're not a huge fan of suits.
No.
Yeah, but I like. I don't know why we have to wear them to funerals or weddings. Like, dude, I hate it. So anytime someone wants to buck the system, like, oh, we all need to be in a suit today.
Well, maybe take off the hat. It just looked really. I don't know.
It looked photoshopped in almost.
Yeah.
It just looked out of place.
It did look weird. I can give you that.
Let's take a quick time out, Jay.
Sure.
I think we've got a lot of email that's been piling up on us. Maybe
do.
we should spend a little time on that. Win Jin-Ryu, the police officer that was killed with his partner, what was that, 3 years ago? 2014, I think.
Oh man, was it that long?
Yeah, I think so. Just sitting in his car, like having lunch or something, and when some nut job went. This is like at the very beginning of the whole Black Lives Matter,
Totally.
and when things were really amping up, and those guys were absolutely murdered in their police car, execution style. Some interesting news on that front. We'll do that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Menino, your event coordinator for the Hamlin Pubs. Did you know that Hamlin Pubs offer 2 private rooms at each location, both located? Hi everyone, this is Kelly Menino, your event coordinator for the Hamlin Pubs. Did you know that Hamlin Pubs offer 2 private rooms at each location, both located in Shelby Township? We specialize in all kinds of events, from bridal and baby showers, dinner rehearsals, to corporate luncheons and wedding receptions. My team is committed to making your occasion your most memorable event. Give me a call today so that we can plan your next event. Call me at 586-596-1425 or visit our website at hamlinpubs.com.
During this break from Mike and Jay's hard-hitting analysis of the latest stories about dead babies or strangely shaped tumors out of India, I want to encourage you to contact Brent Wasik about insurance. Yeah, I know, auto, home, and life insurance isn't as exciting as the latest toy, but it's important that you have the insurance coverages you need at the lowest possible price. Call Brent today at 734-455-1900 for a free quote. Brent's been in the insurance business 29 years, almost as long as Big E has resided in his poor parents' basement. And he's affiliated with tons of insurance companies, so he can shop for the very best prices. Call Brent today, 734-455-1900.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. I got to tell you, man, really quick. I went on a little field trip today.
I heard.
Yeah. I gained a whole new level of respect for what Beth does at her job.
Oh, nurses,
dude,
it's absurd.
She comes home after a 12 or 13-hour shift or whatever, and she's exhausted, and I'm always like, well, come on, let's just go to dinner, come home, bang 3 or 4 times, and then call it a night, whatever. And she's like, I'm just so tired, I'm so exhausted. I'm always like, dude, I worked all day too, whatever. Let's just go out, and she's been like that and then watching these, they didn't stop. They
Very physical.
didn't stop.
And she's probably lifting a bunch of fucking huge people and shit, too.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, they can't stop, though, dude. I mean, the cycle, the train just keeps coming of sick people and people that have real shit going on.
I mean, they're just like pointing to each other. Hey, can you give me a hand with this? You do that. And none of them stop. They're just machines.
Yeah.
Just
They're
machines.
a special breed.
Wasn't your mom a nurse?
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she like that too?
Yeah.
Very machine-like.
The same hospital.
Yeah.
Hey, couple matters of housekeeping, Mike. Number
Sure.
one, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, you shouldn't be. You should be watching the Gold Cup. USA v. Jamaica. Not often do you get to see the beautiful game in America and see our Americans perhaps raise a trophy.
Are you sending people away from our show right now?
Leave our show right now. You can always come back and watch later. Go watch the Gold Cup on FS1.
Okay.
Channel 219 on DirecTV.
Is that that's at Comerica?
No.
Is there,
What? What?
Isn't there a big game? Wasn't there?
Dude, that was last week.
Okay, sorry.
I thought you were kidding, like just being facetious.
No, I just saw pictures of the field. That's why. I just don't care that much. I'm sorry. I just don't. Where are they playing it?
I'm not sure where they're playing it, but go watch it. Secondly,
it needs to be watched.
YouTube, our YouTube channel, Detroit Cast. Subscribe to it. Helps us out with SEO and so forth to have more subscriptions. So even if you're not like a YouTube watcher, you're a Google user, very likely. Most of you people are out there. Jump on our YouTube channel and just subscribe to it.
Subscribe, yes. Very big. Make a comment, too. Like something, for Christ's sakes.
Lastly, Podcast Awards, dude. We're nearing the end of the month of July, at which time the Podcast Awards will shut down and say, these are our nominees. And we want to be nominated in the categories of mature, comedy, entertainment, and people's choice.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty simple process. Just go through, self-explanatory, click the boxes,
and then you'll get an email.
Submit, you'll get an email, confirm.
Yeah.
Boom.
This isn't the vote either. This is to get the nomination, and then the vote will be...
Don't discourage them.
I know.
Mike.
I
Don't
know.
discourage
It's just whatever. It is what it is.
It's 0-0, by the way, right now, Jay. I don't exactly know what time it is.
A clean sheet on both sides.
Both
Both sides of the pitch.
Are you recording the game?
No.
No. I'm not going to go home and watch it.
I didn't anticipate doing the show this late, so
I apologize for that.
That's okay, Mike.
A very important field trip to attend to
These
today.
things happen. Your health is more important than any dumb soccer game.
Win Jin-Ryu, the slain New York police officer. I believe that was 2014 when he was shot with his partner, Rafael Ramos. His wife just had a baby.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, they withdrew semen from his testes before burial.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes. Her name is Angelina, like angel.
You talk about thinking ahead, huh?
Well, he dies, and you've got 24 hours to jack that thing off one last time. You get in there and jack that thing one last time, and if you do it right, you can preserve that seminal fluid.
Milk it.
Yeah. And so she said on the day he died, she was like, please, someone jack it off or I'll brew it. Whatever, we need to preserve this so we can have chaired.
End quote.
Yeah, something like that. I could be paraphrasing a little bit. But they did, apparently. I don't know how the process works. I'm not sure, but they got to get it out of there somehow. There's only one way I know how to get it out.
Well, I'm going to guess once the guy's dead, maybe they use a needle or something.
Ew, that's not fun. Do it the old-fashioned way.
For anybody.
Yeah, I don't ever want to get off because of a needle in my balls. No, thank you.
Well,
So,
it's a miracle. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was able to conceive and
dude, think about
a little being to continue his legacy.
That's unbelievable that you'd be forward thinking like that. On the night her husband is executed in his car at work, you'd think that you would be so
It'd be
frazzled.
one of those things. Fuck, I shoulda.
Yeah.
Damn it.
God, I should. I knew I had 24 hours to jack it off one last time. Yeah.
We'll check the mustache and jack off the panus.
Exactly. I always when I see when Kennedy was shot, And there's the famous
Zapruder film.
Yeah, well, there's the famous video then afterwards of what's his name being sworn in,
Yep.
like on the
Lyndon
same
Johnson.
day, Lyndon Johnson, and you've got Mrs. Kennedy standing there. She's got to be there, as he's sworn in, and it's like all this is just happening, unfolded, and still you're focused enough to be there. And
Why
for
did
her,
she have to be there?
I don't know.
I think she just did that as a symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, like strength.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think she had to be there.
Okay, maybe not.
Well, let's be accurate.
Well, I'm just saying.
We should, when we can, we should be accurate. I don't know that's the case. Maybe she did have to be there. I'm not in front of a working Google machine.
Yeah, I know people who have died, and I've seen their family members, and they don't seem like they, that day, within a couple hours, they'd be in any condition whatsoever to go like, well, I got to do my duty here and show respect and stand here.
Right.
Hillary Clinton couldn't muster the respect to go out and greet her fans after her loss.
Well, she was upset, Mike.
She's very upset. I mean, she's throwing lamps, cursing out the Russians, whoever else.
Her fans.
So for Mrs. Winjin to do that is, that's crazy. So
excellent foresight.
So on the night of the shooting, she requested that it be frozen. His
seminal fluid.
Yeah. The wife had a dream that night during which Winjin handed her a baby girl. I told my friend it's going to be a girl. My friend said, "No, you haven't even checked the sonogram." But I was right.
Flip a coin.
I know, dude. It's not like it's a 300-sided coin. You know what I mean? You had 50-50. You got it right.
Be an odd coin.
It would be. It'd be really
probably
hard to
worth
flip.
a lot.
Yeah, a ton probably. You're right. Experts say that even after a murder, there's a 24-hour window where sperm can be collected. If frozen properly, it can last forever.
Why the phrase "even after a murder"? Like,
why would it matter if you're shot in the head?
Just be like, after death.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say even after a murder, but what if you were shot in the dick? Then I bet you couldn't.
Then I think you want to qualify the statement, but
yeah,
it's like,
but he wasn't.
After death, you have 24 hours to jack that thing off.
Yeah. Angelina's grandmother visited the baby and said the newborn's face was a perfect blend of her parents. She looks like my daughter-in-law.
I have not seen your Nana this happy in years.
But this part, the eyes and the forehead, looks like my son. Top of face looks like my son. Bottom looks like mom. Head looks exactly like my son. I see my son in her. That's a quote. I didn't think you'd get that. I mean, do you see Winjin Ryu in there? Look at that little wee poops.
I've never seen Mr. Winjin Ryu.
Yeah, Mr. Lou.
I've never seen him.
Cute little kid, though, man.
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
And honestly, we're fucking around, but that's a cool story. I guess she was like, look, he really wanted his name and legacy to go on and to have, it's not a guarantee that that's going to work.
Sure.
And I think she tried a couple times before it stuck.
Running out.
Yeah, she's running out.
Hopefully, so many swings at this thing.
Yeah, and who knows how pent up he was before that last. I mean, he had to come big that last one.
That's a great point.
So that you could freeze enough to do multiple runs at it, and apparently it stuck, and she surprised everybody in the family, and they're all excited. That's great. Very good.
Hey, a comprehensive financial plan is the roadmap that can give you the confidence to know that you're on the road to the right financial path. Be one of the first 10 listeners to call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial for a free comprehensive financial plan and make sure that you are on the right path. Call 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark. Did I mention I did mention this the other day. Somebody called and asked for Merck.
Yes.
Receptionist, like, yeah. Well, Merck will work too.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Sorry, Jay. We've got an issue with our clock, and so I don't.
It does not look like she had to be there. It just Lyndon Johnson wanted her there, and she agreed that it would look good or something.
Why would he want her there?
Well, it says the famous photo of
passing of power.
Johnson insisted she be present so that Kennedy supporters accepted his legitimacy as president. Earlier in the scene, for all attention, Jackie had arrived back at Air Force One, thinking that Johnson already left. She entered the stateroom, and he was still there, and they just both agreed that it'd probably look good if she was there.
Mm-hmm.
We lost our clock, so I don't know if we're 4 hours into the show, if we're halfway through next week's shows. So I've just started a stopwatch here. Do you remember what time we were at, E, roughly, when you lost it?
Around 111.
We're around 111. Okay.
What do we do, Mike?
So we got 20 minutes to fill. Thereabouts.
We can do this.
One last story, and then we can do some email, and it looks like you've got some new posts over there. One of the first U.S. Catholic priests, Roman Catholic priests, to be convicted in the church's worldwide sex abuse scandal due to be released from prison.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's now defrocked. Can you get frocked again? Can you refrock, or once you're defrocked, you're done?
Yeah, I would think there'd be a record of the defrockinization.
What if he had a clean record, hadn't humped a single boy in 10 years? Could he then get refrocked? Or is that out of the question? I thought this was about forgiveness with this religion.
I don't know.
Is there any record of someone being refrocked who's been defrocked?
Unfamiliar with frocking.
Well, they say he's now defrocked. Of course, we're talking about Paul Shanley.
Of course.
He's not in the band Kiss.
Shanley. Shanley with an H.
Yes, Shanley with an H. He does not wear a star on his eye, ever. You will never see him with bright red lipstick and a giant star on
and
his
a hairy
eye.
chest protruding from a low-cut wife beater.
Yeah. He's got a strange priest outfit. Very, very strange.
How much input did each one of the KISS members have into their costume? Or was it like
I think
an
it was
overall
totally
design?
theirs.
Yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going black leather, painting our faces.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yep. And they each wanted to represent a character, I think. Because if you look at the early pictures of Kiss, the costumes are not what you know.
Is that right?
Yeah. Look, see if you can find like super early Kiss
I
pictures.
just thought like Peter Criss just kind of always looked out there like, what's up with the cat thing?
Yeah,
the whiskers?
I know.
It just didn't seem to fit.
It was a weak. When you're looking at the demon, and
Dude,
you're looking
Ace
at
was the coolest, I thought.
yeah, is it the silver?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I like Gene with the
Yeah.
demon face, dude. And when
Yeah,
I was
that's
young,
cool.
and the blood, playing that bass with a long
So
tongue,
big, too.
Yeah, the wings. Oh, it's badass.
Every day above ground is a good day.
Every day. So he was convicted in 2005 of repeatedly, and I mean, when I say repeatedly, I mean repeatedly raping a boy over a period of years in the 1980s. He was sentenced to 12 to 15 years. Doesn't that sound weak for an offense like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The scandal undermined the church's moral authority. Did it? And sapped its finances as it paid
It's
out.
always the same and always different. There's always a bunch of naked guys having a wonderful time together.
They've paid out billions in settlements. He's now scheduled to be released and begin 10 years of supervised probation. The Commonwealth is not legally permitted to seek that Paul Shanley be confined further without expert testimony that he meets the legal criteria for civil confinement as a sexually dangerous person.
He needs to be better trained.
What's weird about this, or what sucks about this, is I thought like they were putting the hammer down on these guys, and it was stopped. You know, after the Spotlight report in the Boston Globe, Pulitzer Prize-winning article, then the movie came out a few years ago.
Sure.
15 years on, allegations of sex abuse continue to pour in against U.S. priests.
That's creative.
With the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops reporting that last year, 911 new accusers levied credible charges against 463 priests.
You know, there are people who don't want to do other things. You know, if you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
That's like saying, like, your choices there are barbecue shop or ice cream, not barbecue shop and anthrax.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't have choices here.
Yeah, they both seem acceptable under Jerry's
example.
Point.
That represented more than double the number of credible accusers the prior year. Some 43 priests were defrocked last year alone. And if any of them...
We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say, mm-mm.
Did they get a warning before defrockinization?
I don't know. I would assume so. They probably got a handful of before you would start the proceedings of any sort of thorough defrocking. Yeah, it would make sense. Another 111. This is bothersome. So 43 were summarily defrocked. 111 were allowed to remain priests, but stripped over their ministerial duties. Since the scandal broke, 12 U.S. dioceses have filed for bankruptcy. Bankruptcies, yeah. So why would they be? See, I don't know if that's a big deal to be stripped over your ministerial duties.
Sounds like a defrocking to me. But I don't know the distinction between stripping of your ministerial duties and defrockinization.
Yeah.
I'd have to read more on that.
I think defrocking is when they like literally rip that little white collar off your face.
Ooh, that's
off
gotta
your
hurt.
head. Yeah, well, sorry. Don't get yourself defrocked. You won't have to feel it. And then your ministerial duties means maybe you can still wear the cool white thing in the middle there,
But you don't get to lead mass and
yeah,
stuff.
you can't go up there and like hand out the bread and the wine.
You have no access to little dudes that are lighting candles, which is
No.
what they all want.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, what a shame. What a terrible story. But he is 84. I don't know, keep him in there too much longer anyways. How we doing for email, Jay?
We do have email. Before we do email, however, we have a message for our listeners. Hey, listeners, who amongst you would not like a better night's sleep? Well, we have the solution, MyPillow. Mike
Yes.
Lindell and the fine
Yes.
folks at MyPillow have partnered with the Detroit Cast in an
First
effort-
partnered with my guy Ty.
in an effort to get all of you
Sleeping like babies every night. Stop flip-flopping like a guppy.
That's right. Go to mypillow.com. Use the code TDC. You, of course, know about MyPillow's famous pillows, but MyPillow also has all types of bedding-related products, even pet beds for the poops.
Yes.
All of their products are high quality and American-made. So, again,
Yes.
go to mypillow.com. Use the coupon code TDC. That's the key. Use TDC code for the best discount.
We're going to make sleeping great again. That's our goal.
Hey, man, Grand Haven's musical fountain. Look at that post. You ever been to Grand Haven? Grand Haven
I'm sure
is
I
one
have.
of Michigan's jewels, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You've got to get to Grand Haven. The west side, as Ian and I have talked about, is the best side.
That looks Vegas fountain-y.
Well, it's
A little
interesting, dude. Grand Haven, Michigan has the world's largest musical fountain.
Musical fountain.
Held every evening, all summer long. These great plumes of water, reaching as high as 100 feet, dance into... Dude, my eyes are going too.
Are they quitting on you? Let me see. You want me to try it?
Woo! They dance and flow into myriad spectacular patterns.
Sure.
Yeah. To some of the greatest musical compositions. And this is from Julie. Hey, guys, so excited to have the opportunity to send posts. We spent an amazing 10 days in Grand Haven, Traverse City, Petoskey, and Mackinac. Now, that's a great Michigan staycation right there.
Did you hear E behind us? Just like, whew. He was just
He loved it, right?
Yeah.
Grand Haven,
That's
Traverse
his
City,
dream.
Petoskey, and Mackinac, and thought this was the perfect postcard to send because it has a great factoid. It really does. And yes, we saw this while we were there. It's pretty cool. I've seen it as well. It is something to behold. If you have little kids, definitely go. They've got risers and everything to sit in. And
I think she bought that card because it said plume in it.
yeah, well, she did highlight the word plume and myriad.
Yeah.
Those two words.
All these people going to all these other states, New York and shit, when they should just be staying in Michigan.
That's right. We
'cause
got
it's
the
best.
It's the best. It's bigly.
The most coastline of any state in the country.
We'll never let transgenders fight on our property ever. No chicks with dicks. None. Get them out, bigly.
Hey, Susan posts with a ringing endorsement of our listener business page sponsored Blind Biz.
Excellent.
Susan says, I recommend Blind Biz. It's been a few months. The blinds haven't fallen off the wall. All good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
And then Richard...
check in a few months later.
Richard also included a picture of a Peerless Steel truck, Holland Steel. Hopefully he
Very
went and
nice.
got himself some steel. Ed writes in, presidential dogs and Trump's choice. He of liberal ire, balls on fire, and Esquire. I would be remiss if I allowed the conversation on presidential dogs to conclude.
Wait, so he's calling me a liberal?
He of liberal ire. Liberals hate your ass.
Okay. Yeah.
Dogs to conclude. He would be remiss if he let our conversation on presidential dogs to conclude without invoking the memory of Lady Boy. Big E, make sure you get both D's in the spelling, or the Google image search will bring you Lady Boys. You don't want that to happen. Warren Harding's dog is certainly in the running for the most famous White House pet. Harding had a hand-carved seat for him, often larger than the ones for the visiting dignitary.
Wow.
And would require that Lady Boy attend important meetings, often stopping to ask his advice. Hold on, let me ask Lady Boy.
Could you imagine what people are thinking?
You think, Lady Boy? What do you think? You're a good boy.
Who was the president
Lady Boy.
that had this?
Warren Harding.
Oh, never mind.
Lady Boy, Laddie boy. Look it up, E. The day Harding got Ladyboy, Harding handed out cigars and treated it like the birth of a child.
Yes, I would too.
He commissioned 1,500 figurines of Ladyboy to be built and sent them to important people all over the world. These will now run you several $1,000s on the secondhand market. A statue of Ladyboy made from the copper of pennies sent in by newspaper boys from all over the country is in the Smithsonian collection. Off Harding and on to more current nut jobs. I have the perfect dog for Trump. Bear. Of course, Mike's foster pup, Bear. I do not say this for the classic reasons of the German Shepherd being, there's Ladyboy.
Yep.
Look at Lady. Beautiful Proops.
Yeah.
Different than I imagined.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yep, I am Ladyboy. He's looking at a picture of himself. A commissioned picture of himself. Yep, that's me on the artwork.
Ed suggests that Trump take Bear for his pet. I do not say this for the classic reasons of the German Shepherd being an intelligent, obedient, and protective dog. I believe, however, there is a 95% chance that Trump refers to Angela Merkel as the German bitch before his term is over. To avoid international incident, he could say, "What? I was talking about the dog."
Yes, I meant Bear, the German bitch. Hello.
That's thinking, see?
Yeah, that's
good.
thinking outside the box. I'll give him that, but I don't know. I don't think Bear's going to go anywhere for a while.
Oh, what? Do we have some news, Mike?
No, I don't want to really get into it, but there's a little issues with Bear, and we're working through.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She's not damaged goods.
No,
she's beautiful.
She's a good
Bear.
girl. She's a very good girl, but she's got a couple things going on that we need to address.
Who doesn't, right, Mike?
I know. Hey, believe me, I'm right there with her.
AA Non writes in. Pet hater, pet sitter, and human pet. Referencing poem number 861, The Kowalski Calamity. What the fuck? With E in the hot dog contest. That is the choke to end all chokes. I generally don't eat meat, processed food, or wheat, and even I could have choked down more dogs than a sweet pie in 5 minutes. What the fuck, dude? Wah, wah. Epic fail. Referencing now, poem number 863, Trump's Tiger. Reminds me of the story of this guy who used to live in a mansion in Rochester Hills. At the time, it was in a fairly remote location. It has since gotten a little bit more populated in that area. The dude had a pet lion. Not a cub, a lion. Sometimes in the evening, you could hear it roar, and the sound would carry for quite a ways. Wow. I have friends that lived a quarter mile or more away, and they could hear it. How sweet is that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Good day, sirs. AA non. P.S. Mike's fridge just needs a new magnetic seal. No. I'm
sir.
sorry.
No, sir.
It needs major structural work.
It needs a new fridge is what it needs.
Dude, the bottom little pin that goes in the hinge busted at some point.
Yeah.
And it's in there, so it's the whole door is cockeyed.
Yeah.
And so it's basically off
and
its
getting
hinge.
worse.
It can't be repaired. The weight of the door is causing it to bend more.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to have to fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get a new break room fridge.
Yeah.
PPS, congratulations to Big E. I just looked up choke in the dictionary, and E's picture's there, so that's something. Jesus.
Well deserved. He worked hard to get that label.
Oh, you know what? One last thing. I will hit a Wonder Woman thing. We've had several of these. But Morning Gentleman and Big Pussy, very disappointed in Big E's performance at the Hamlin. I just can't talk about my disgust in that and can't talk about it anymore. But I cannot agree more with the King on Wonder Woman. The plot, villains, and actors were lame as hell. Gal Gadot is very nice to look at, but this was a movie that used the action scenes as a crutch, just like Transformers. But you know, women are going to call you a sexist monster for hating on a pro-Vagine directed and heavy Vagine cast. So kudos on that, LOL.
The idea that it's just because it's a woman director, it's a pro-Vagine direction.
Yeah, there's something to that, though, out in the media. There definitely is. Wow. Time to go slap my female coworkers on the ass. Good day. I said good day, Don B.
Well, for all you Wonder Woman fans out there that are just like, right now, don't worry. That does not represent the majority. Jay likes to cherry pick emails that bolster his argument.
No, there's a bunch of people wrote in and said it was good.
Does that to me all the time. Like, people usually agree with me, I don't know, 98% of the time, and Jay will find the 2%, 1% that doesn't, and he'll just read those.
Jay writes in, so glad you guys found that Bugatti casino taped shit. I heard that the day after the story broke and thought of writing in to mention his conflict resolution skills and shit. He went on CBS Sports Morning Talk Radio about a week ago. They had to pre-record it in case he cussed, which he did. He might come on the show and shit. Tell him podcasts don't have the FCC to fuck with. So, yeah.
Yeah. What would we do with him, though?
No, that's the thing, dude, is because my whole thing with him is trying to figure out what the fuck he's saying, which I
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, but he might take offense to that.
I was thinking like how
and might put
it'd
a
be
cap
funny.
in my ass, as mentioned. The
Wouldn't it be-
aforementioned cap in the aforementioned
He's not
ass.
coming all the way up from. No.
Wouldn't it be funny though to have him say something and then one of us try to translate what he said?
Yeah,
and
that's
vice
kinda what we're
versa,
doing.
dude. Vice versa, where we
Yeah.
make a statement and then go, now you say what we just said.
Yeah, and here
And
I'm
then
like, well, that gentleman fell.
No, have him.
He's lying supine on the thoroughfare.
Yeah, and they go, what dude do? You know, or whatever, you know, have him say whatever. But I don't know. He might just think we're fucking with him or playing with him or whatever. But
he might not.
I'd like to get
He,
his
not, he
opinion.
might not appreciate the cultural difference like we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're celebrating diversity.
And we're celebrating him.
Yeah,
Bugatti
he's fucking awesome, man.
Casino. I mean, he's hilarious. He's got to know he's hilarious, right? And his boys, I mean, flashing the gun and the gold and the diamond. I mean, dude, it's just brilliant.
I think he's serious.
Yeah, I do too. I know. Maybe we try to like ground floor, just like talk to him and get some backstory on Lucky and what happened with the dog. Get the real story, the dog, and then we just kind of lay the groundwork that we're good.
Yeah.
And then you know
We
maybe we
boys.
could dive into some other areas. What do you think of Black Lives Matter? What's your opinion of police officers? What do you think of white people for real?
Motherfucking devils!
Don't sugarcoat it, Mr. Casino.
Come on, let's
we
go.
want your real thoughts here, sir.
We can handle it as whiteys, as crack ass motherfuckers. We can handle it. Tell us what you think. Let them unleash on us.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Very good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you two, especially for hanging out all day. Well, I went on a venture.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. So I hope people appreciate the fact that you guys have been at my house for
We're
about
glad
20
you're
hours.
okay, Mike.
Yeah,
We're glad
thanks.
you're okay.
Me too. All right, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.